I might have found my sweet spot for garlic.
Those look real suspect.
But it does make me smile. And I'm also not potting up again. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. Y'all, it's so beautiful out here today. I do have stuff to do. I don't feel like doing it. Look at this beautiful butterfly. I hope I can get her or him. Look, do y'all see him? So much beauty. Anyway, so much going on right now also. Sorry, that's my lunch alarm, but I've already done something for lunch. I didn't eat lunch, but I did have a protein shake. Anyway, it's so beautiful out here. I do have stuff that I could do. I still have to get these bags amended. I don't feel like doing it right now. I'm not going to do it right now. The bags that was growing the broccoli, they still need to be amended, but I do not feel like doing it, y'all. And it's a little warm out here. I ain't gonna tell no untruths. And these right here needs to be amended too, as well as anything over here that doesn't have something in the bag, that needs to be amended as well. But it's not something I feel like doing today. But I really think that's the last thing that I need to get done is those bags amended. Whew, I'm kind of ahead of my game. And I think I'm ahead of my game because I got the other bags that grew tomatoes and peppers. I got them done early. By the way, I wanted to show y'all something. So our temps got down to 29 degrees the other night and some of my potatoes died back. But they will come back. They will still grow. They're not completely dead. But yeah, you can see some of the darkness where basically it froze and it got burnt. But it's fine. The good thing is they weren't too big, so it shouldn't take it long to kind of bounce back. And if one doesn't come back, I put 2 potatoes in these bags. So I'm excited to see that like it didn't die all the way back. So that's a plus, right? Looky here, looky here, looky here. We have a calendula about to open. Well, there's another bud right there too. A lot of them have buds on them already. I'm pretty excited about that. Like that one is gonna be opening soon. And look how big the chamomile has gotten. I feel very confident about this chamomile this year. I did not have a good chamomile, or I don't know if I had any chamomile last year, but I feel really confident. If it can get big enough before this grapevine starts to like really bush out. And by the way, I said this was the grapevine. This is not the grapevine. This is that apple tree. That apple tree is coming all the way over in here because the grapevine pulled it. I'm sure that's what happened. But anyway, if this chamomile can get large enough before that grapevine starts to bush out, I think we're gonna have a really good chamomile harvest. And honestly, I think I said it when I was planting this stuff out, when the grapevine bushes out, I think that it's gonna help to shade these things. And these things don't really like a lot of the heat. In my area, they normally die out. So maybe they'll last a little bit longer once the grapevine comes up and shades it. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. So I'm actually pretty hopeful for that. I do want them to get a good size first though, so that they don't end up kind of stunting once they get shaded. Anyway, so I guess we just walking around out here. I came out here, I said I'm gonna bring the camera and we gonna talk. Y'all, I know I keep saying it, but look at this garlic planted in September. In my area. I'm in Virginia, zone 7B. I got a chart from my local feed and seed, right? So if you're new to gardening, if you have a local feed and seed exchange, see if they have a chart for planting. My local feed and seeds chart said that I could plant in September, my garlic. And I was like, I'm gonna give that a try. I also was watching people in warmer climates already planting their garlic. So I was like, I'm also definitely gonna give this a try. That garlic looks real good, y'all. It looks really, really good. So I'm hopeful. I can't wait. Like normally it would look like it was basically sending up several different stems, not just the scape if it was hard neck. It would basically look like the cloves were separating and sending up their own stem. But those don't look like that. Now I will tell you, it's some in the greenhouse that absolutely looks like that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And normally when I went to pull them, the casing would have come off, and yes, there would have been stalks or plant coming up out of the cloves. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So you see right here,
there's a whole bunch of those coming up. And I only put 1 clove in there, not the head of garlic, just 1 clove. And so that's normally what my garlic looks like. See, that one is doing it too. So with that being the case, I'm happy to see the ones out in the garden that I planted in September looking like what I see everyone else growing. 1 stalk with a bunch of different leaves. So y'all, if this works, it's very windy out here today. Very, very windy out here, but beautiful. But if this works, we planting in September going forward. There isn't 1 bulb that's like that. And this garlic is a head of garlic that I got from our local farmer's market too. And if they grow well, I'm going to save some of these cloves as well. Unfortunately, that won't give me a great harvest, but I'm gonna save them because if this works, I might have found my sweet spot for garlic. We still got our, I wanna say this is some type of nettle. I can't remember what y'all told me. It's still just going everywhere. I did not take it out. Like I said, I really like it for the bees. And until we have other things for the bees to, you know, get to eat, I'm just gonna leave it. But once we do, it's all coming out of there. All coming out of there. But I've been seeing the bees all over it and they absolutely loving it. Y'all, I forgot to show y'all. I posted a picture on Instagram. I did have 1 asparagus pop up. I harvested it this morning, not thinking that I hadn't told y'all about it this morning because it had gotten pretty tall. I'm just gonna eat it raw. But there's some pretty skinny ones coming up. But the point is, our asparagus is coming up. And y'all know I've been waiting for the asparagus because that tells me spring is here. We don't have any more. And I think a bird was digging right here. I told y'all they really like the straw. I'm not really worried about it though, because the crayons are really deep. They're deep down into the soil. By the way, the ranunculus is getting bigger. I'm just waiting to see some flowers pop up, and it may still be very early, but you can see the plants are getting very big. I'm very excited about that. This one has different leaves from the other one, which is fine. Oh, and look y'all, that board's getting bigger and bigger. I'm probably gonna leave it and just let it grow here, but I need to fertilize that ranunculus. I feel like I said that in the last video, and apparently I still didn't fertilize that ranunculus. So listen, we have broccoli heads on every broccoli plant, y'all. I just need to get this to harvest. Like, I need it not to get too hot in here, and I need to get it to harvest. I do not need this to flower. Like this one, those look real suspect, like flower material. But the rest of them, they don't look like that. They're still very tight. So I am very excited about that. I mean, like this one is getting big. I'm very happy about this. I am gonna fertilize these this week with fish emulsion. I'm pretty sure I did the Espoma Organics last week. So I'm basically kind of going back and forth because they're in the flowering stage, but they're also still brassicas and they're still heavy feeders. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not telling anybody else to do it, but it does seem to be working. I started out with just fish emulsion. Once I saw the head showing up, I switched over to something that has some potassium and phosphorus in it. I think I got that right. But yeah, I'm just gonna show y'all because I'm super excited. This was a great idea. So if you are hearing in your area, it's no point in doing a spring garden, it gets too hot too fast, try things. And for me, it was getting these plants started very early so that they were already a decent size before the heat got here and when I first got them planted out. So these plants I started, I want to say in December. These broccoli plants were started in December. I planted them out sometime in February. And so now I am crossing my fingers because I think we can get to it. We should be getting another broccoli harvest in the spring. Even though you hear people say here in my area, like it's no point in planting a spring garden because things just go to seed. Crossing our fingers, because I have planted a spring garden before and gotten a harvest. I just can't remember if it was a leafy green harvest or if it was broccoli harvest. Because honest truth, I have not been paying attention, y'all. I have just been out here gardening, enjoying it, having fun. And I still am, but I also still want to pay attention. I still want to know. I want to know that I can start these in December, get them out in February, even if it's in the greenhouse, and get a harvest. So I'm actually starting to pay attention now. Our cabbage is definitely looking like it's trying to start to go towards the middle. So the cabbage, I'm still fertilizing with fish emulsion because it's pretty much the greens that we want to grow. But I imagine because they're all in this same bed that it's getting some of the nutrients from the Espoma Organics as well. And y'all, we could really start harvesting some of these large leaves. I will tell you, in this greenhouse, these larger leaves are not getting damaged when we are getting cold. So at 28, 29 degrees, the Swiss chard over in the garden, the larger leaves froze, and I think I showed y'all that they froze and they looked pretty bad. It's not happening in the greenhouse, and this greenhouse is not heated. A lot of people do want to know, like, how am I heating it? I don't heat the greenhouse. Nothing in here is dying. It's not damaged, doesn't look stressed. This greenhouse, even with where I may have done something wrong and so some air gets in here, some of the cold air gets in here, this greenhouse may be the same temperature as it is outside, but it's not freezing. So I'm excited about that. We have all of our seedlings outside now. We do not have a temperature under 40 degrees in the forecast. This is where they're gonna live for a while. But also, look at this, y'all. It's not the best thing, but it does make me smile. Remember I told y'all I wasn't gonna clip my dahlias because I wanted this flower. I finally got it. Look how beautiful that dahlia is. They're from Floret. I feel like I say that all the time, but dahlia seeds are kind of hard to come by. So I like to say where I get them from, because a lot of people think that dahlias only grow from tubers, and they don't. I've honestly never grown a dahlia from a tuber. I've only ever grown dahlias from seeds. In the past, mine have made tubers, and then I have pulled them up, but I don't ever keep them alive, and so they die, and then I just start from seed. I prefer to start my dahlias from seed. Also, people were telling me to cut these so that I could make more, root them. I don't need any more dahlias, so I also don't see the benefit for me in cutting them. I get to see the flower, and these are the only dahlia plants I need. I don't have space if I make any more dahlia plants. But y'all, I'm excited to say that while we still do see some aphids, just a few, like you can see one right there, you do see a few. This is nothing like it was last year. It actually is nothing like it was earlier in the season. I do think bringing them outside early did help. Look at this lupin, so pretty. And that's our roselle right here. These probably could stand to be potted up. Well, no, it's not that bad. And I watered everything this morning because I'm also gonna fertilize at some point today. I am going to give the peppers some fish emulsion because they are looking a little bit light green. So I am, well, actually, no, I'm not. Light green or not, we are not gonna do that. We are going to use the Espoma Organics and hope for the best. Maybe we'll do a little more than we have been doing. And the reason why I say no fish emulsion is because nitrogen can attract aphids. I have not fertilized any of these plants with fish emulsion because they were in the house and I did not want to do that. I was thinking once they got outside, maybe I would, but not on those peppers. We're already fighting aphids on there, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna use the Espoma Organics Grow. I found this on clearance at Tractor Supply at the end of the year last year. Got a whole bunch of it. I've been using it. It's been working so far. So if it's working, why think about using something else? So also forgot to show y'all the nasturtiums down here that I did up pot. I transplanted these nasturtiums. Nasturtiums are said to not like their roots disturbed. They tell you plant them in peat pots. Don't transplant them. I have always transplanted nasturtiums and I have never had a problem with it. The whole thing is they don't like their roots disturbed. So if you don't let them get root bound to the point that you have to pull the roots apart, I've never had a problem with transplanting them. But I also make sure that I don't let their roots get root bound. So we up potted these. They were in the 6-cell trays and I did that sometime last week, I think. And you can see everything is still alive, looking amazing, the same way it looked when I put them in here, just actually growing because it has space now. When you see the directions or the suggestions or the recommendations say that things don't like to be transplanted or
or plant them this way, that way, direct sow them. And if you don't want to do that, like me, I don't want to because I will forget to go and moisten the soil. And that is my choice. I'm not telling anybody else to do it, but I know I can't be the only one who forgets to go and moisten their soil once they direct sow something. So just make sure whatever you sow them in, they have enough space, and when they don't, you get them moved up into the next size so that they don't get root bound. And so for me, our last frost is April the 5th. For the most part, my summer garden is going in May, right? But for things like nasturtiums that don't mind a little bit of cold, but I also don't want them to get root bound in those pots, and I'm also not potting up again, I will plant those out when I'm sure we don't have another frost. Although nasturtiums can take a small amount of frost. There's that too. Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there because someone asked, like, how do they do transplanting? Because they heard they don't like to be transplanted. That is a thing that is said. For me, it's never been a problem. Same thing with dill. I transplanted that dill out of my bootstrap farmer trays. I did not use a peat pot. I did not use anything else other than the trays that I use that I love, which makes it easy for me to start seeds, to keep them in my house, to bring them outside. So I'm going to use what is easiest for me. And then you use whatever is easiest for you. Like somebody said they did their beans in toilet paper rolls. That is awesome. I didn't save any toilet paper rolls, so I don't have that as an option. But yeah, that's awesome. And you can plant it directly into the ground, and that will actually put some organic matter back into your soil too. So I think it's a great idea. I think there is more than one way to do just about everything in gardening. Ooh, the sun went down, y'all. So it's 84 degrees in here right now. It was 112 degrees. Oh, that's 118. I don't know if that was today or another day, but it was 118. We've also gotten down to 21. So that tells you like the greenhouse will warm up nicely, and even when it's really cold, things aren't going to get stressed easily. Anywho, these are all of our tomatoes. The tomatoes desperately need to be fertilized. Some people fertilize their seedlings, some people don't. I am a seedling fertilizer. Do you fertilize your seedlings, or do you just let them grow with whatever is in the soil? I did up pot the basil. That basil looked terrible. I'm probably going to give that fish emulsion. It looks absolutely terrible, except for the purple. And well, that purple one looks bad, but like, look at that one. Actually really beautiful. But most of this is tomatoes on this table, and they all need some type of fertilizing. So once I finish this video with y'all, I'm probably gonna do that, or it'll be later on this evening, because when the sun comes out, it's right warm in here. The other thing I wanted to tell y'all is the Brussels sprouts, if I can get these out early enough. I mean, like, they look really good in here. First of all, get them out early enough, and don't put them behind the broccoli that grew way faster than them. But look at the Brussels sprouts. So it would be a really nice plant had it been able to get what it needed and been able to grow long enough. But I'm still going to leave them. It's another one back here, and the broccoli rabe took over that one. So Brussels sprouts are normally really tall plants, which is why I put them in the back. And the broccoli rabe is normally a really tall plant too. But this year I just didn't have a lot of success with my Brussels sprouts. But with that being said, you know what I'm going to do? First of all, I ain't had good success with Brussels sprouts any year. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to plant them again next year, because eventually, just like with this garlic, I think this is going to be my garlic year, y'all. Just like with that garlic, I think I'm going to have success eventually. So listen, we need to harvest, baby. Look at that. If you've been here through the whole winter, look at that. I told y'all, I said eventually we're going to get enough sun back here, and this stuff is going to start growing. And that's exactly what happened. So I need to come out here and harvest this, but I'm probably going to wait. I might have it with dinner, so I want it like as fresh as I can. Oh, look, let's see what this actually is, y'all. Girl, they say it's a broccoli. I'm so confused. That ain't no broccoli. I think this well, whatever it is, you know what it is flowering. I don't think that's a broccoli. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it could be. I really think that was a Brussels sprout. I think I got stuff mixed up. Also, look at that. That's flowering too. It's too hot in here. Okay, yeah, so we have had 113 in here,
and 22 for the low. So it's too hot in here. And so let's see if that's the same thing that's happening here. Yeah, that's flowering too. So we're definitely gonna go ahead and harvest this. We're gonna pull this. You wanna know what I did do? I thought forward. I said, I feel like that stuff is going to bulk in there because it's going to get very hot. So I started enough seeds to basically put zucchini or squash into every bed in there. And since our tomatoes, for one, aren't ready to be planted out yet, and for two, I know the tomatoes can go well into the fall in the greenhouse, the patio variety. I know that the patio variety can. I'm not going to worry about getting the tomatoes in early. I'm going to get all of the squash and zucchini in early, and hopefully we can get a good harvest and I can preserve that harvest, and then I don't have to fight squash vine borers through the summer. And then if I want more, I can plant in the fall, and I'll do that in the green stock because I will want to grow fall vegetables over there. Speaking of green stalks, we do still have some fall vegetables. You know, I just put them in not too long ago. So that's kale, pretty sure that's collards, and they're mixed into the green stalks that have garlic and onions and shallots and leeks in it. I figured that if the green stock was gonna have things in it from the fall that was gonna go through June or July, I could try to get another harvest of the cold crops until they bolt or until it's time for me to take out the garlic and onions and things of that nature. So this lemon green stock is basically full of things that will be coming out between June and July. Same thing with this gray one over here. So these plants are looking really good though. Like they have grown well since I put them in, including the garlic that, you know, started sprouting either in the fall and got kind of stunted in the winter because it was so cold. But yeah, it looks really good. So I'm excited about that. These onions or shallots or leeks, whatever they are, because at this point I don't remember what I put in this black one and it's also mixed with some garlic. They are looking really good too. I watered everything this morning when I came out. These will also get fertilized as well. The strawberry green stock, I actually harvested the strawberries before we had that night that we were getting down to 29. I harvested them. This green stock looks really pretty, and I forgot that I had like cabbage in here too and some Swiss chard from when I had planted it up to grow in the house. Until they die out, I'll just let them stay because what I'll be doing is rooting them into another pocket anyway. And y'all, the leek and potato soup green stock, look, the potatoes have come up. And funny thing, none of these got burnt. And I'm guessing it's because they were in front of the house and they're also surrounded by other green stalks and then also the fence. That's the microclimate that I always tell y'all about. So this is much different. This space right here is much different in the way of the wind and the cold than like sitting right out in the garden where it doesn't have a lot of things to block that. So those did burn, but these did not. Nothing burnt over here. And we also only have one pocket, I think, and I think it's this one where we didn't get any potatoes to come up. So there's a little one coming up there. All the rest of the pockets have potato in it. And I was saying that I would replace it, but at this point, I'm just gonna leave that one empty and the rest of these potatoes are gonna grow up in that space. The leeks look really good. If you remember what they look like when we put them in, they're still kind of skinny, but they got a lot of time to grow. Leeks take a long time to mature. So when those potatoes are done, because they'll be ready in June, July. June, late June, early July, I'll just put something else in there. I'm not sure what it'll be. Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll grow just fine in this green stock. And then at the bottom, we have celery, because celery goes into leek and potato soup. And that celery is looking amazing too. We did get some more lettuce planted in the house. It has not germinated yet, but the lettuce out here is looking good. I think this one got knocked back a little bit in the cold, but the rest of it looks good. I'm gonna fertilize this with fish emulsion. When I fertilize, everything in the green stock is not getting fish emulsion. For instance, the strawberries, when I fertilize them, that will be with the Espoma Organic. The potatoes will not be with fish emulsion, but the leeks will. The celery will. So I'll have to fertilize these each pocket. This is how I'm doing it. Not telling anybody else to do it, because you could get a balanced fertilizer, and the Espoma Organics is a balanced one, so I could do it too. I'm just choosing to do it with fish emulsion and that, and with that being the case, I'm gonna have to do each pocket. And that's my choice, y'all. I'm not telling nobody else to do it. And the blackberry onion green stock is looking good. Look at that onion, y'all. That one is looking good. The ones on the top are definitely looking a little bit thicker than the ones below them, but we're gonna still give everything that chance. And then if I find that you need to do them higher up, then that's what I will do. But for now, we're gonna give this whole green stalk a chance to see what it will grow for us. All onions, and like I have said before, the onions in the green stalk are probably the best onions I've had in a while. I have been getting allium leaf miner. The first year I did not know what it was. I was just like, these onions look terrible. I pulled them out. Last year is when I did research because I was like, what is going on? It was allium leaf miner, y'all. And so with that being the case, I think the green stalks are helping with this. Over here, these are still looking light green. Now these, I may hit them with some fish emulsion just to help with them greening up, and then I will switch back because we do have some flowers, but they're very light green plants. You know what? I think I told y'all this was cilantro. I think I fixed it in a video. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna say it again. This is celery, and this celery was supposed to go somewhere out in the garden. If you remember, I said I wanted to grow some in the green stalks, which is what is in the leek and potato soup green stalk, and then I was gonna put some in the garden. When I was planting that stuff out, I completely forgot about that. I doubt I'm gonna move it, but I might. Who knows? But that is celery. That is not cilantro. So both of our herb green stalks are looking good. You know, I transplanted some of my herbs that came out of my hydroponics into here. Then I had herbs that I actually purchased from the store. Then I had herbs that I just started normally. But this herb green stalk is looking really, really good. We still have some open spots. I will tell you, I decided with oregano, because it spreads so bad, that we're just putting it all on one tier. I do have some oregano left, but I'm not just gonna like pop it into an open spot because it will spread. Kinda like this yarrow that is just spreading through this tier of the green stalk. So what I think I'm gonna do, cause see, I'm pretty sure this is, I cannot think of the name of this herb, but it is, you can use it for celery, but for some reason it's escaping me. That's what this is. The yarrow has come from this pocket over here. So if you're gonna put things that spread in, you probably want to put them all on one level, because I also have yarrow down here that has spread over here. And the most unfortunate part about it is it's not that unfortunate. I could pull that yarrow out, put some extra soil in there and replant. So it's not that unfortunate. But if it were unfortunate for any reason, it would be because I'm not even using the yarrow. But I do think that it's pretty. So nice on the eyes, but I mean, if I'm not using it, it's not really useful. So maybe while I'm learning St. John's wort, I also learn yarrow. Although I hear yarrow is one of those ones you really need to do your research on because it could have adverse effects. But I got a lot of it, y'all. Look, I mean, it's all through this green stalk. But I think I did. I started it from seed. And if you know me like I think you know me, you know I didn't want to throw none of them seeds away. But see, it's also shade and stuff. I'm at least going to harvest it, and maybe I will put it through the freeze dryer, give it one tray when I'm freeze drying other stuff. Just, you know, I can have it and I can use it when I need to. Well, as I'm learning it, not when I need to, as I'm learning it. And look at these. These are chives. They are about to flower. Someone told me, well, a few people told me, use the blooms in some vinegar to make a, I guess a chive vinegar. I cannot wait. By the way, we harvested these already this year. They gonna be a beast. But I want every last one of them. I really do. I fell in love with chives last year, and I want all the chives, y'all. And so the last green stalk we have is another strawberry green stalk. I'm very excited that I decided to just stop being, I guess, annoying, because my whole thing was, I know strawberries can grow in green stalks. I don't want to grow strawberries in green stalks. But I also had gotten really sick of growing strawberries in the ground, and the runners were taking over the bed they were in, taking over the bed beside them. And so I was like, we know it works. Why would we not do it the easy way, Asia? So I'm really glad I did this. I harvested a lot of these before we got to 29 too. So yeah, I'm really happy with that green stalk. And I think it's so pretty. I don't know. I never thought about doing the strawberries in the white, but it's so pretty, especially when the red strawberries are hanging over it. I mean, actually beautiful, y'all. Actually beautiful. So that's the garden this week. It's looking great out here.
I am ready to get to planting. As soon as the zucchini and squash comes up, we're gonna put them in the quick tent greenhouse, so can't wait for that. Like I said, the nasturtiums are gonna go out as long as our 10-day forecast doesn't have anything like super crazy. The nasturtiums are gonna go out after April the 5th, and we just gonna start slowly planting out the garden. But the majority of my garden, peppers, tomatoes, eggplant, that's going out in May. But anyway, y'all, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.